Hello and welcome back to this Let's Play series in Crusader Kings 3 Realms in Exile. We are playing the Great Northern War Host and the Iron Crown King of Angmar with High Overlord Zalg, currently as the Great War Chief, but forever as the neck snapper. Um, Last episode we took the last duchy we needed from Las Galen to fire off the Avenge the Battle of the Five Armies. The only ones we're missing are Dale Lands, North Dale Lands, and Erebor. In between episodes, I have identified some individual to give this duchy to, and I've arranged a couple of marriages. Um, in regards to colonies, we have one here which is almost done, and one here which is nowhere near done. Before I go on, uh, please do leave a like, comment, subscribe if you're enjoying my content. Uh, this company that we're using to upload footage and enjoy content, it's a multi-billion dollar company and it currently works on likes. So, we're all adults. If you're enjoying my stuff, please, I would greatly appreciate it. To those of you who already have, thank you very much. Thank you for those who are enjoying my content and are watching my stuff. Right, so uh, we have a small rebellion going on here, and I don't think this. No, he doesn't have the troops. And he doesn't have the troops to siege it down either, and I'm annoyed with seeing this here, so I'm just gonna raise my army and join that. This individual, we need to give him the territories. Currently, the duchy capital is in this holding. I don't think this is where it starts. If I remember correctly, this or this, one of these two, we used to be the duchy capital. But the AI moved to the capital of the duchy, which is annoying, but there's not much we can do. I don't have the option to move it, so it is what it is. We're gonna steal this duchy. It's gonna be a bit costly. And we're gonna give him the entire thing, and he can do whatever he wants with it. I don't particularly care. We do need to give it away because we're currently over our limit. Let's see if we can build you the orc barracks, and let's see if we can arrange a marriage for you. Not really. Ah, that would be why. We can arrange it with our daughter, but our daughter is already having another marriage arranged, so we're gonna unpause here. Here are the marriage proposals that I said would come through. We're gonna stop your recruitment, and we're gonna join your rebellion simply so this goes away. Right, we have a new lifestyle perk. So we're gonna finish the torturer trait. We have what we need. This would increase our levy size, among other bonuses. We have what we need for our most urgent stuff in the intrigue um, tree. We're gonna switch to making a bit of wealth. We're gonna go from my domain and then straight down into architect. And then we're probably going to switch to learning. And the reason I want to do that is because I want to accelerate innovations. We're currently missing only two to move on to the next era. One of them is the one we're going through, and it's 8 years away, and the other one is the cultural focus, and that's about 20 years away. After that, it will probably take another 20 years to move into the late third age, at which point we'll be able to do primogenitura, and our entire thing will be secure. Um, there won't be any more direct succession issues after that, and we can use our research to grow our armies effectively. Um, the character is young enough to go through all of this, so it's gonna be perfectly doable. Let's finalize this revolt, please. Thank you. Right, so what we're gonna do here, um, we're gonna move on to a few invasions. Let's have a look. First of all, did we settle this? We did not. So, we have the option to desecrate Aradhrind. Thranduil's pitiful halls, mere cheap imitation of the underground refuge of the coward Thingol. Excuse me, have long stood in northern Mirkwood as a beacon of strength and stability around which his people have gathered. Instead of refuge, let us make them an abode of dark things, cast out the light, and fill the caves with sorrow and fear. So this would destroy the building that the elves had, and we would get the tomb of the Elven King, which would give our monster troops some bonuses. Um, The Avenge the Battle of the Five Armies does the same thing in that it causes the destruction of the building. However, um, it destroys the kingdom titles for Dale and Lasgalen as well. However, it wouldn't give us this building. So we're gonna fire this. The caves shall be a place of dread. Long did the halls of the Elven King withstand the siege, holed up in their underground fastness. The elves were tough to dislodge, but in the end my forces proved too powerful, and the gates were broken. Thranduil's halls lie despoiled and ravaged, emptied of all its inhabitants. Gaze upon the mighty works of the Sylvan elves. They are not now but crumbling tombs. Buried beneath their halls the elves now are, with spiders and worms their bedfellows. So ends the woodland realm. Now, I want to talk a bit about I want to talk about a bit about these decisions because we actually lost access to some decisions and I couldn't figure out why. And I actually started recording well, what was supposed to be this episode. Unfortunately, I ran into uh, a bit of a bug where I actually lost access to avenge the Battle of Five Armies. I lost access to this decision and I couldn't figure out why. It's not going to affect you because I'm not going to post that recording. I decided to roll back to this save. It wasn't a decision that I wanted to take, but losing access to this decision, it was very annoying. I didn't know why. So I went onto the Discord channel, opened the ticket and had a chat, and then I figured out what is going on. So effectively, because this ties into the Gundabad chain of decisions. So if you have the title of Gundabad and you're an orc, you get access to a bunch of decisions. And we actually lost access to one of them, and now I know why. Um, but effectively, yeah, that's fine. Effectively, you need to have the title of the overlordship of the Grey Mountains yourself in order to have access to avenge the Battle of the Five Armies. If you give the kingdom title away to a vassal, you actually lose access to this. It doesn't take into account that one of your vassals is holding the title. It even says here you completely control. You have the title Gundabad. You have the title the Grey Mountains, right? So you have to have these titles. And if you don't have them, this entire thing disappears. You don't even see it anymore. And we had the same thing with the Kingdom of East Angmar. And because we gave away the title, we can no longer see the decision to drive the men from the Vale. That's why we can't see that decision anymore. If I destroy the Kingdom of Gundabad, we will see the decision shackle the Anduin Vale, which is almost identical to the decision to drive the men from the Vale, with the only difference being how much of the land you need to control and what happens if you fire it. You gain an artifact, basically. And the way they explained it to me was that initially these decisions that are not part of the Gundabad chain of decisions, so like the Avenge the Battle of the Five Armies is part of the Gundabad chain. The other ones, like the one we just fired that gave us this building, the other ones were actually meant for Kamul, the Easterling, which is one of the 9 Nazgul, which used to hold this territory. It's part of his decisions, basically. And some of it got transferred to other orcs simply because their alignment is evil. As orcs of Gundabad, we're not exactly supposed to be able to fire these decisions. They said they will modify some of these decisions in the upcoming updates, so we'll see what they do with them. But at the current build, if your decisions disappear, it's because, like me, you haven't paid attention to the fact that you need to personally hold the title of East Angmar, and you need to personally hold the title of Grey Mountains. If you give them away, you're going to lose access to those decisions completely. So, I'm going to carry on doing what I was doing in my initial recording, which you will never see because I've already deleted it because it was so annoying to revert back. What we're going to do, we're going to increase some of the armies men at arm groups we have here. I'm not gonna increase the Gundabad Black Shields, at least not yet. Personally, I think the Black Uruks are slightly better. The reason I think that is because the Gundabad Black Shields have slightly higher stats, but the Black Uruks come in groups of 200, whereas the Black Shields come in groups of 150. They counter the same troops, but because of the 50 extra troops, I think the Black Uruks are better. In terms of heavy cavalry, I think the Karagor packs are slightly better than the Wargrider scouts, but I'm not gonna make a massive gain from replacing them between the two of them, and whatever counters the scouts will probably counter the Karagors as well. We're gonna keep our army the way it is, but I'm not gonna invest in extra trolls because at some point we're gonna want to replace them with golgai. One of them. I'm gonna keep the one group of Gundabad war trolls, and I'm gonna replace the other one with golgai later on. For now, however, why can I not? Because you're already stationed. So one is in Mount Gram and the other is in Orc Town. So the ones in Orc Town get 200 and 640, and if we station them here, they're actually better simply because of this building. But we were gonna upgrade the castle as well, so we get additional bonuses. We're gonna start with that now. That's about it there. And I'm gonna continue doing what I was trying to do in my previous recording, which again you will never see. And I'm gonna attack them. And we're gonna fight a holy war at a kingdom level for the mansion of the Iron Hills. And we're gonna take all of this away. And we're gonna carry on from there. Shortly afterwards, we're gonna declare for this holding here. And the reason we're gonna do that is because we need to hold the Duchy of Northdale lands, and this is the Duchy of the Northdale lands. So we're gonna need to fight for that. We're also going to need to fight for the High Lordship of Dale lands. Now, with Dale, I could just simply declare war for the whole kingdom. However, if I do that, that's gonna put us on the border with Galadriel. And we currently don't share a border, which is partly by luck and partly by my design, because if we share a border with Galadriel, she's gonna attack us for sure, simply to get rid of, like, she'll try to attack one of the neighboring duchies, simply to get rid of the orc presence there. I don't know if we could beat Galadriel in the open. She can still call on Elrond. We might be able to beat her in the open, but I have doubts that we would beat her in the forest. So before I neighbor Galadriel, I want to make sure that we have additional extra troops to handle the pressure from her troops. So for that reason, we're gonna take the Iron Hills. We do want the iron in the Iron Hills because our great armies need additional armor and weapons. We need the metal. We already have lumber because we took a big chunk of Las Galen. It only makes sense to secure additional materials. 6 months, we're not gonna wait 6 months. The special troops can go away. Galadriel just won a war for elven homelands in the forest, so she's increasing her military. Let's hire them just to be extra sure. And we're gonna start. We're gonna start in this direction. Let's see where they summon their army. I wanted to have a look. Are we building? Yes, so I have paid in between episodes. I have paid for this upgrade. I think it's the final one. And the reason we're paying for it is because holding that county and that special building increases the rate at which we acquire experience for stewardship, which is our current focus as well. Who are you? No, goodbye. God, that's bright. Prisoners, go away. Right, and I can see he's already marching this way. Let's intercept that, actually. But yeah, I basically lost about an hour of recording simply because of this lack of attention to the conditions for the decisions, which is annoying. My player air. Diligent would be better, I think. Gregarious doesn't tie into assassination, and Diligent doesn't either, but it does give you some good stats, so I'm gonna take Diligent instead. Right, so we beat them. Let's try to siege Erebor again. Holding the capital does give a bigger bonus than sieging the rest of them. And because we have two groups of siege towers, this should go fairly quick. They're not effective for the level of fortifications present there, but they're effective enough. We're not employing a personal physician. I don't know why. Why are you even in my court? Go away. Right, she came of age, she is betrothed. Who are you marrying? Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I do apologize for my coughing. I don't think that's ever gonna go away. It must be annoying, but there's not a lot I can do about it. Let's siege that, and let's see what we took as prisoners. And we do need a medic. Is there really no one? Let's search for someone, and we can pet Gray. Let's pet the dog. Thank you, dog. Warg, I should say. Let's recruit for a physician. Let's see what we get. Break. Which one of you is break? Your break. That's quite an amount you want me to pay. I'll pay it. We'll demand conversion. We will not demand conversion. That's fine. She can stay on advanced research. That's fine. So we're gonna secure this iron supply in the aptly named Iron Hills. And together with the fuel from Las Galen, we should be able to grow our legions to levels unprecedented. I'm gonna actually equip this. The extra learning would not hurt. What does hurt is that strong white, my daughter. Let's see who we can marry her to. This would do. Where did you send your troops? I lost track of them. That white is so bright. There's the troops. Let's intercept them troops. Desperate please, I'm not even gonna play around with the rest of it. Where is this plague? Right, and how strong is it? Whoa! What is going on here? These are some big plagues going on. But ours is a level 2, which is still quite dangerous. So let's isolate the capital. Early prevention success is what we wanted to see. You're trying to siege back your capital, but what's gonna happen actually is you're gonna be trapped in the mountain and you have nowhere to go to. You like me, but I have doubts about others, and I don't think we're gonna go just yet. Maybe in 5 or 10 years times we will. I do not have the necessary. Well, actually, I might. Who? Right. No, but we already summoned the Holy Order. I can't resummon them. Right. So let's continue to siege our target, and let's get rid of these prisoners. So yeah, the modding team said that they would go over these decisions and they might modify it so that if your vassal holds the titles for the kingdoms, you should still be able to file the decisions. It's just that it's not going to be available in this update. So maybe in the future version of the game, you won't have to roll back saves for silly reasons, because it makes absolutely no sense to lose access to that decision. Who did we imprison? No one interesting. So we're effectively going to reduce the strength of the dwarves down to pointless levels. Right. She wants to go to Beleriand, my half-sister, who can't fight worth a damn. How much does it cost? Not much. And she's considered a master. Let's see if we lose the sister. War Chief Skoralg is obliged to more. Do we have... we don't have the perk anyway. So we're about to get it. You know what? Things can stay the way they are. And as soon as we get the perk, we're gonna demand some money from him. Let's go with my steward for this one. I don't think we're quite good enough. Let's see. How are my colonies? You're done, so we can give you away. And the other one, yeah, we should have been building here for ages. Let's risk it for the extra money. No, it failed. I want to possess something truly unique, please. We're gonna take golden obligations here, and was it you? No. Was it you? Yes. So that's 70 gold for that hook. And we can sponsor someone else. You want to string a magnificent bow. I actually don't know what your skill level is, so no. And we have a weapon already, which is stronger than whatever it is you're ever going to make, so no. Where are we with the dynasty perks? Ah, your partner isn't mature yet. Some of my counselors. Okay, so let's have a look at these counselors. You want to improve the Chancellor, 31. Steward, 21. Spymaster, 32. You know what, my Spymaster is fairly good. My Steward, however, could use some help. So we'll do that. So we're about to take the Iron Hills. Come on. There we go. We're gonna impose our demands here. And all of these dwarves are gonna be thrown out of their kingdom. We're gonna disband this. Do we still have a revolt going on? God, that's bright. None that I can see. Okay. So I'm gonna have to pause here and figure out who to give all of this to. We're gonna steal the duchies for this, I think, because I'm not gonna wait 5 years for them to abandon the duchy titles. It's gonna be expensive to steal them, but I will wait for him to abandon the mansion of the Iron Hills. So I'm just gonna pause here, and I'll be right back once I start giving out these lands. Right, so here we are. I identified a couple of candidates. This won't become a duchy quite yet because we simply don't have the holdings in it. We will take this at some point soon, but this isn't urgent. What is urgent is to deploy the rest of them, and I wanted you to be present for when we take the duchies away. So this is Azanulin Bar Doom, which is going to be the capital of the kingdom. We're gonna take this duchy away, and let's see what it changes to. It keeps the name, it changes the icon to something fittingly more orcish. I didn't bother a lot with choosing the candidates here. It's best if you have a steward in these kind of large duchies. he can only hold 4, and this duchy is actually fairly large. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 counties in it. So it's immense, actually. And some of these are gonna be... No, I don't want to give you that one, but you know what? You handle it yourself. It's irrelevant to me what you do with it at this point. You want preferably a steward rather than a trickster. Someone with high stewardship. Intelligence helps with that. We're gonna give him that duchy. This duchy here, Exile Angmar, it's smaller. We're gonna steal it. Keeps the name, changes the icon. Let's see. Where are you? I don't think the rest of them change though. Like they're still gonna stay dwarfish in the way they are presented. And finally the Duchy of Gairu Aimu, which is also a fairly large duchy. And we're gonna give him the rest of it. Before we do, your feudal... Yeah, they're all feudal, that's fine. Let's turn you into a duke. I don't know why I'm messing about with the pronunciation of that word, but I just like the way it sounds. Right, so we do have some pelts. Let's destroy said pelt. We have an event as well. My daughter is destroying my garden. I don't think orcs were known for their wonderful gardens, but whatever. The gardener trait would be good. She has a very low chance of obtaining it. She's talking about this one. Let's see. No, she didn't get it. Right, so the situation is we have wood from Las Galen, we have iron from the Iron Hills. What the army is lacking is a bigger source of food, because we can't exactly get a lot of food from the frigid wastes in the north. We will be pouring our legions into the kingdoms of men. I am role-playing at this point. Your armies are not dependent on food at all. We're gonna start with taking this here. We're gonna declare this war. We're gonna raise our troops. And he's facing a rebellion, which is convenient because we're just next door. Right, who's involved in this war? And what troops do you have? 22,000. Okay, well, we're gonna get rid of the special troops. We're gonna summon our Holy Order again. We're kinda low on piety. Let's do it without the Holy Order. We're gonna join your rebellion though. Are we recovering troops? We are. This option here helps you regrow your levies. Oh my. So there's no way we get... She's already one-eyed. We'll go for the slightly lower quality rather than the lower quality. That's not exactly helpful game. I would have preferred you didn't sabotage my artifacts. I am expect another spazzing orc. Explore the area. Where are you going? In Morvigil. You're going into Gondor. Okay, explore the area, that's fine. Okay, if you wanna sit in your own territory, then sit in your own territory, that's fine. Nazog. Nazog is just a low board. Calm is fine, I don't care. But this is my player heir, so you want to be deceitful, which would be good for what we're preparing you for. Honest would be bad, humble would be bad. Be deceitful then. Someone's plotting to kill my wife. Excellent stats. Let's see if we can arrange a marriage for you. Are we doing this the right way? We are. Let's sort by age. You need someone who's strong, preferably. But I think we're gonna go for the first option, to be honest. Although this one would be good, so take that one. What we want is a higher chance, but she has 0% chance to improve the quality. Just keep laying low, I suppose. It's not what we wanted, but it is what it is. We gained King Severin's bow. Okay, let's ransom people. I don't want you here. And my heir is going to get a weapon. We're going to give him this, actually. And we'll give you King Severin's bow. Yeah, just pay me. How is our colony? I completely forgot to look at it. Right, I'm not gonna help develop this any further. What about culture? We're still going through some framlings. We still have some long beards and Iron Hill and everything. Okay, well, what we're going to do is we're gonna start ravaging the land because, or we could, let's see which one is faster. So if I is not an orc. Right, so we cannot promote culture if the local culture is not orcish already. We have to ravage the land instead, and that will take 14 years. That's massively long. But it is what it is. We're gonna have to do it. My lore master does not hate me anymore. We can stop with that. To progress, slightly higher chance. We'll take the slightly higher chance. Slightly higher quality, that's fine. And we can stop improving with the lore master. can siege south, maybe? No, we have to intervene here. Before he takes... Before he kills him, basically. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's ransom you off. Ooh, that's iffy. But that's okay, because we're gonna go into the forest. Tarks everywhere. You have a chance to be killed. Let's take that one instead. Right, you go in there and unsiege. We actually have our war target, so we can siege around. I am soon holding a blank, and hereby invite you to attend. I'm not gonna go to a blank. My daughter. That's not a very good daughter, I'm gonna say. Let's marry her off outside the Uruks dynasty. We'll sort by age, matrilineal, and let's find her someone good. Beautiful would not be bad. We're gonna go with the beautiful one, I think. You'll do. You want to go north to unsiege the stuff I sieged. She's just a warg, not a dog. Let's fight some more. Right, we're arrogant and we're actually losing stress over that, so we won't be doing it again. She took it personally anyway. Uh-oh, what are you marching for? That is a problem. That is a big problem. Because then we're gonna border each other. Well, if we're gonna border each other, I might as well take some massive lands in other places. Because I think she's gonna come for us. And I don't know if we have the troops to resist her. We can't rely on alliances either. You found Legrest. I think we've seen this item before. It's a good sword, we'll keep it for now. Is this the one I don't care about? Craven, Shy, Paranoid. You know what, go for Craven, I don't care. Um, we'll reduce your taxes, that's fine. I'd rather have friends amongst my vassals. For obvious reasons, we'll extort people. We'll have everyone pay. Let's siege the capital, I think. Right, so we have some money to throw around, and considering the fact that we're going to fight Galadriel, let's upgrade stuff, because we're gonna need it. There goes the money. But that's fine. We have to do that, we have to upgrade our troops, otherwise we won't stand a chance against Galadriel, because her troops are just that much better. Right, I don't care if those get killed, and I'm the one personally holding all this stuff. Can you siege the capital faster, please? And there it is. We can ransom you off, and we can finally take this away. Right, so, do you hold anything else? You do. This is not urgent to steal, so we're not going to steal it. We're just gonna give him the title. And that will be fine. My vassals are fighting. Who are you fighting and why? Well, that's annoying. We don't want him to have that, so we're going to attack him ourselves. And that should stop their conflict. And we're gonna take it quick. And who are you fighting? Just a rebellion. And why are you here? I haven't a clue why he's there. Someone's trying to kill me. And who took this? You did. Well, that's a problem. Oh, someone's calling me. I'm just gonna pause. I'll be right back. Right, sorry about that. My friend was calling. I'm not entirely sure why we were looking here. A rebellion. Right, let's take this away. We're gonna give it to him. How many territories do I need to make this duchy? 3. Okay. Well, we can colonize one. That should be fine. And what is going on with you? So, that's the end of the Gorin line of holdings. We can give it to you. We can throw a colony in between, which is gonna become his capital anyway. It has drakes in it. Not dragons. I don't think they're quite dragons. Let's help out with this rebellion real quick so it doesn't harm our vassal that much. My player, heir, and son, and we're marrying you off to a rakish older lady. That's nice. Not exactly what I had in mind when I arranged that marriage, but it is what it is. And we're gonna clear this and then we're gonna start another war. My caravan master gained an adventure inspiration. How much? Go. For 190 with a legendary quality, I'll accept. We'll get irritable, that's fine, I think. Let's see. Not great. But I think this is worse. I'll take this. My mother was murdered by who? Whatever. I don't particularly care. That's fine. There goes that war. Right, so let's make this duchy the Iron Gap and give it to you. Have you abandoned the kingdom title is the question. You have. We'll make that one. And we can now make the High Kingdom of the Iron Mountains. So we'll do so. That's actually a very nice icon there for the orcs. We should still have access to avenge the battle. We do. Durin's folk are holding land in Erebor, Logathavult, and Dorwinion, so that's gonna be another 3 wars to get rid of them. Our old enemy. In the meantime, we're gonna attack Logathavult. And with that, we're gonna gain access to the lands of Dorwinion. Because we need food for our legions. For our unstoppable legions. So, let's take your entire duchy. Her confederates are gonna march in as well. That's okay. Something truly unique, please. How are we for time? We're getting up there in time. So we're gonna turn Dorwinion into our breadbasket for the legions. Just like Nurn is for Sauron. Where is the holding? There. Go siege that. And then what we're gonna do after we take Dorwinion is we're probably going to attack Nelorniath. No, no carps. Go away with the carps. I am not interested in the carps. The Lorniath army is actually quite substantial, but I'm hoping that by the time we get to them, we'll have more troops from the territories we already control. What other titles can I make? The Kingdom of the High Pass would be good, because we then would get troops from there, and the Kingdom of Imladris as well. Other than that, we still have a couple of duchies we can make, but then the duchies will be holding anyway, so it's not urgent. So because we have the kingdom titles, our army should increase now a little bit. Come on. There you go. Where is there? Go for it. Let's see who we can ransom. Yeah, that's a nice haul from ransoming. You can design. Yeah, I'm gonna be the guardian. We can demand payments as well from acquaintances apparently. So let's rob them blind of money. We're gonna need it here in a second, I think. Because, yeah, especially from you. Because we're gonna be taking Logathavald, and I'm pretty sure these are all tribal. Let's see. Yeah, they're all tribal. We're gonna need funds to change them to feudal. Yeah, no, we're not gonna do that. Let's see, my acquaintance, my kinsman, and my acquaintance. So, what did I see there before? Some title can be usurped. Ah, yes, you. We'll wait for her to abandon it. It's not urgent. So that's the end of the war. And these territories are now ours. The problem being, we're gonna need to feudalize them, so I have to kick you out, I'm afraid. We're going to turn this into a city, and this into a castle. The capital is actually up there. We can now give the city away. We don't need to hold this. We're gonna kick you out as well. We're gonna turn this one into a city as well. We're gonna lose a lot of money here for turning all of these into castles. Right, so now I need to find someone to give all of these to. I'll be right back. Right, so we gave it to this character here. He can hold a few, but not all. We're gonna create the duchy. This doesn't shift icons. So he has that duchy now. We are raising our military here. Hopefully we can raise it in time, because this siege is almost won. Yep, we could. Basically, I didn't want to lose him because of the siege. So that's the locals pacified. Any more revolts anywhere? Not really. Okay. So now we have a problem, because she's attacking for this, and the question is, do we want to take out the Anduin Vale or Dale? We cannot attack Dale because we have a truce. Dorwinian would be good to take as well, but I think we're gonna take the Anduin Vale. Have you been feudalized yet? No. Well, that's a problem. That's a lot of money to spend on feudalizing. When can we do extort vassals again? 3 years. Let's check the holy orders while we're here. That's ours. I'm pretty sure these are all ours, but I can't see how they would be anything else. Yeah. So we haven't taken in any holy orders in our recent acquisition. Have you abandoned the kingdom title? You have, and I've made it as well. Okay. I guess we're gonna have to attack the Anduin Vale. Because I don't think we can, we're gonna border her anyway. We can attack Las Galen afterwards, I think. But I don't think we have a choice. I think we have to take the Vale at this point. Because we're gonna be able to fight in our own territory. And we should be able to resist better. Here we go. I'm gonna keep the faith for imbalance to be able to recruit the Holy Order for when her invasion comes. Because it will, and it's gonna be nasty. Galadriel is a capable leader. Her fighting is insane. And she's a master of the woods as well, so we do not want to fight her in the woods, basically. What we want to do, if we have to fight in the woods, we only want to fight in our own territory. For now, at least. We did get a sword. Let's give it to you. You can do whatever you want with it. He did not have one, did he? No. Okay. I'm actually curious and I haven't looked. Whoa. That's a big Mordor. But they're flanked by both Key and the Reunited Kingdom, so maybe they're gonna have a tough time. You want to make that sword better. And who are you? You don't have any holdings. That's fine. So that's 8, 0.5, and 10 and 10. And now it gives more cavalry toughness. It's okay, sure. Not exactly useful, but whatever. More prowess would have been better. So the breadbasket of Dorwinion is gonna have to wait. Instead, we're gonna extend our control into the Anduin Vale. And I'm gonna have to find people to give the Anduin Vale to, which is not gonna be a pleasant experience. And I'm also going to need to... Oh dear. Give me tax man, please, so you collect more taxes. fight that and ransom them. We're also going to need to feudalize quite a bit of this, and that's going to be a problem. We can hold on to not giving them away for a little bit, because we won't get penalties straight away, but we will if we don't get rid of them quickly. Hopefully we have enough time to intercept that rebellion as well. Get into the capital, please. You brought me the Axe of Faderda, which is actually a pretty decent weapon. It's not as great as it could be. Feel free to pause and read it. It's a nice flavor text. Skirmisher damage and toughness is neither here nor there. Skirmishers tend to be weak overall. We have a marriage request between two elves, sure. And our dynasty just went up in fame as well. We're now significant, heading to famous. How much is the next rate anyway? 3,250. And we're gonna go for the warrior branch for sure. You know what, you can be whatever, because I don't care, you're just a commoner. I'm not gonna take the stress for you. So currently the kingdom is being held by the Balding dynasty, which is the same dynasty that came out of Dale. And they no longer do that anymore. So the Vale is now mine. And the question is, did we gain the skull? We did not. Well, that's unfortunate. So who had the skull? Do you still hold that skull? He does not. He does not have it. So what I'm talking about is the skull of Bolg, because the skull of Bolg was being held by Burn. It would have been nice to recover that, but apparently we're not that lucky. Let's have a look at these furs we got. Yeah, that's a good one. The vassal limit isn't bad either, but let's display the epic legendary fur there. And the wild boar hide there. And do we have any more? Yeah, wild stag hide. This can be destroyed. So, the question of questions now. We're gonna feudalize this. And we're gonna feudalize this one for sure. You can get out of the holding for a minute, please. We're gonna turn this into a castle as well, because it's right at the border crossing, at the river crossing, and it gets a bonus to fortification. Who held this previously? Can I not see? No, I cannot see. That's fine. I'll just give it to whoever. How are we for time? We're way past. So I'm gonna cut the episode here. Again, please leave a comment, throw me a like, a subscription. It would be of tremendous help and I would greatly appreciate it. But I'm gonna see you in the next episode, and goodbye for now.